Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. Now, another quick little video here, because just after I did the video just before, hinting at my big review for the big Willow soundtrack from Entrada, James Horner's fantastic score for Willow, which I'm going to go really in depth on. Some more news came out, and it's about Predator Prey, Predator 5. Yes, the Comanches versus the Predator. Wow, 300 years ago. I've been bigging this up against my better judgment about hyping movies before I've seen them. I've been doing exactly that with this because I totally love the idea, the concept, and everything I've seen and heard and read about it so far. And director Dan Trachtenberg, 10 Cloverfield Lane, yeah, and the boys, has been putting some more stuff out. Including a very tantalising new image. I'm looking at it right now on the screen. You know, techno stuff, I can't put it in there. Well, I probably could, but I just don't know how. Someone's got to show me and break it down. You just put that in there and you drag it in, you edit this, or you do a split screen, or whatever. Anyway, it is what it is. So I'm going to describe it to you. You can see it in the thumbnail for the video. So there's the image there. And the image is of Naru. That's our Comanche female warrioress who's the hero of the piece, played by Amber Mid-Thunder, who is genuinely Native American, as are all the Native Americans in this. The Comanches are all played by genuine Native Americans. Now, the image they put out is great. It's a very detailed picture of Amber Mid-Thunder sitting behind a tree, hiding away from a slightly obscured, slightly blurred predator. Well, we think it's a predator in the background. You can see it on the my thumbnail. As I say, I'm looking at it right now. She's sitting behind this tree. You're meant to think that she's hiding there, but I'm not entirely sure that she is. It is a production still, so whether or not this is actually how it's going to look in the finished movie, I really couldn't say. But she's sitting there. She's not got the war paint on. Got plenty of black eyeshadow though. But there's blood on her face, there's blood above one eye, there's a cut lip, bit of bruising on the face it seems, and she's sitting there looking absolutely gorgeous, as she genuinely is, and it's daylight, and the predator in the background, if indeed it is the predator, I presume it probably is, it's blurred, and he's sort of hunkered over, and you can see him sort of like maybe mid-thigh upwards. And he's sort of bent over looking at something. He's obviously holding something up, which you can't quite see. Is it a body? Is it some of their, I don't know. We know that there's French fair trappers who are in this. As Dan Trachtenberg says, I'm not going to go too far into their significance in the film, but they are significant. Interesting. So it could be some of their equipment from their camp. I don't know. The predator may have decimated them, or maybe it's even Naru's hunting party of fellow Comanches that he's taken them down and he's going through all their stuff. Who knows? It's a very enigmatic shot, and he's bent over, and the way it's depicted, we know he's wearing some kind of very possibly he's wearing the skull of the big grizzly bear that he kills in the full trailer that we've seen, which is fantastic. And he hoists this grizzly bear aloft. Well, later on we see him, he's clearly wearing the bear's skull as some kind of helmet or head ornament. Now, on that picture there, he's bent over, so you can't see the shape, you can't see any of this sort of stuff going on. No mandibles, no dreadlocks, can't make that out at all. But it does look like he's got some kind of shark fin on top of his head. This is a bit odd. It is a very odd looking image, but if that's part of the skull of the bear, maybe it's a bit of a spinal column, I don't know. But it does look really good. And as I say, she looks amazing, but it's not like she's not looking too terrified. If I'm honest with you, she's not looking terrified at all. She's just kind of stunned, just sitting there what have I just witnessed? What have I survived? What is that behind me? Is that what killed the grizzly bear? Have I got to face off against that? Well, we shall see, because obviously she does, but it's a great little shot. Now, I like that Prey and Dan Trachtenberg are drip feeding us stuff on a very regular basis. I've said before, and I'm going to reiterate it again now, is that I don't want him to give too much away. And part of me is thinking that he actually is perhaps giving a little bit too much away. And he's almost like a kid who's just, have you seen what I've done? This is my project. I built this. But you're not meant to see it till the actual unveiling in the school show in a week's time. But he's on social media showing pictures of it all already. He can't wait for us to see what he's delivered here. And I understand that. It's exciting. But I wanted to keep some stuff back. Anyway, well, there's also some details. This was given to Time Out by Dan Trachtenberg and by the production crew. So that still was brought out. Then when we get on, Mid-Thunder, Naru went through a grueling pre-movie training regime with their First Nations co-stars. This is what she says. No, this is what he says, Dan Trachtenberg. It was a month or two of physical training, not just to learn the choreography of the fight sequences, but learning to work as a unit with the other Comanche hunters, says Trachtenberg, who calls the Comanche warriors the SEAL Team 6 of their time. I don't like that. And that's been bandied around a fair bit. They're the SEAL Team 6. It's too easy to make that kind of, connection. Because we're the modern world. Oh, who are heroes? SAS, Special Forces, SEAL Team 6. So these guys are just as mean and just as highly tactical and strategic and well armed and highly trained and skilled. They're not the same. These were warriors, a warrior class brought up from young age to be warriors and to, work as a unit to look after the rest of the tribe and also to be individual warriors as well. But, that's the connection with SEAL Team 6 seems a little bit too on the nose, but it all depends how it plays out. If they start, abseiling out helicopters to take out predators, I don't know. Right, what else did we get? Trachtenberg mentions about the Predator being 300 years older than we've seen him and is slimmer and less armoured. I wanted the Predator to be scarier than we've seen it before, he tells Time Out. It's intelligent and it has advanced technology, and that makes it even more difficult to take on. But because the movie is set 300 years in the past, those things need to feel a little bit older than we've seen before, but also still far more advanced than what we think our Earthlings will be able to handle. The remorseless hunter-killer from space also has a new look. I wanted to make sure the head was more proportionate to the body, says the director. This Predator is much slimmer and less armoured than it's ever been before. It's more creature, but it's still hulking and ferocious. Of course it is. It'd have to be. I don't mind that at all. Again, we know that this is harking back to the original Predator, Kevin Peter Hall, who was tall and statuesque, but he wasn't a huge, squat, Wrestling Federation bodybuilder type. He wasn't like that, and it made him rely more upon actual acting within Stan Winston's suit and the big elaborate mask. Little mannerisms, little expressions, little body movements gave him character, gave him depth, and it worked a treat. So he's still one of the most formidable incarnations of these Rasta space hunters that we've ever come across. So I'm glad that they're doing that. Less armoured, he's going to perhaps rely more upon things that he finds to fashion armour out, like the bear skull. We know he's got some kind of shield, because we see that. The cloaking device is still there. We have all that. We know he's got the wrist spikes and all that. And he's got some kind of, we know it isn't the plasma cannon, but it's some kind of spear with laser abilities. I don't know. We're going to find out. Right, here we go. I've talked about Naru's dog as well. And because we see in the trailer, she's got a dog at the start, and she communicates with it, not in speaking to it, but with hand signals as well, like, It's a bone. That's old Comanche signals for dogs. Track, wildebeest. Dog's going, why is there a wildebeest in North America? Shut up, stupid dog. What do you know? Trachtenberg also mentions the name of Naru's dog we saw in the trailer, which I don't think has been revealed before. The dog's name is Sari. That's S-A-R-I-I. Sari or Sari. And Naru's relationship with it is similar to Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Now that's... Dogs in genre movies don't have a great track record of lasting too long, now do they? And I've said before, please don't kill this doggy. Please let him survive. Break with the mold. Do something different. Kill off all the rest of the tribe. Yeah, of course. But don't kill the dog. Why would the Predator kill a dog anyway? It's hardly a worthy opponent, I wouldn't have thought. Unless the dog does that sort of Call of the Wild thing, where a grizzly bear is attacking the hero and the dog will leap in to try and save its owner and get sliced up in the process. I mean, that happens a lot in these stories, these outdoorsy wilderness adventures. But and speaking of which, Prey was filmed in Alberta, Canada, and the weather and terrain there helped give the film a Revenant-like authenticity. The Revenant is great. I do enjoy the movie, but it looks fantastic. And then Trachtenberg was asked if there'll be further Predator sequels after this one, and Trachtenberg hints there might be. This is, he says, very possibly. There are a lot of exciting ideas for what could be next for the franchise, he says. The things that most excite me are the boldest swings, and I think there's scope to do other things that haven't been seen or done before. So it's going to go on. Of course it's going to go on. You can't keep a good Predator down. And I think they found, by going back into the past, as I said before, this has been exactly the sort of thing I want to see. Don't just stick with special forces and super brick hard cops and mercenaries. Go back in the past. That fan-made movie where he fights the Crusaders coming back from the Crusades, it's incredibly well done. And that's a fan-made movie for YouTube. And it's awesome. So, I mean, the thing is, we kind of know, because of the connections with Predator 2, that when they first came here and they give Danny Glover, what's his name, Harrigan is LA cop. They give him an old flintlock pistol and as a trophy because he's defeated one of theirs, and they recognise him as a worthy warrior, you know, the rest of the clan. And it kind of harks back to this sort of time period. So, you know, is this the first time? I mean, we're kind of getting told that this is the first time they've been here, first time they've encountered humans, the first time they've used the earth as a hunting ground. So, you know, it's all to play for. But that would negate having them fighting samurai, having them fighting Mongol warriors or the Crusaders, or, you know, King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. You couldn't have that if this is going to be canon, and you won't have anything before that. But, you know, you could have Predator in the Second World War, in the Pacific, you know, in Stalingrad. You could have that sort of thing going on. You could have him in Vietnam. You know, there's a lot of things you could do set in the past in other conflicts and warring scenarios. So there's no end to the actual, you know, potential and possibilities for this franchise going forward. But this image, I like it. I think it looks great. It doesn't give too much away. You can't see what that Pred's doing. As I said before, if indeed it is a Pred, it clearly must be, mustn't it? But it's so blurred. It would be a nice trick to play. In that scene you thought we were tantalising glimpsing the Pred rummaging about. That's actually one of the French fair trappers. And he's took the bear skull, and the Pred comes up behind him, slices him up, and then takes the skull off him. Da! You know, egg on your face. Oh, and whiskey down my throat. But yeah, I'm really continually getting more and more excited about this. You'll get more sort of TV spots and trailers in the run up to this. It's coming out on Hulu. We know that. Not too far away now. And besides Thor: Love and Thunder, this is the film I've been most looking forward to. This is the one for me. And in fact, in some ways, I'm looking forward to this more, because I know that Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be fantastic. I'm going to have a ball with it. I love what Taika Waititi's done with the character. I love what Chris Hemsworth does as Thor. So really, you know, I already know I'm going to be massively satisfied with that. But this, I've got high hopes and expectations, but it's also that little bit of a fear, you know, will Trachtenberg really do it right? Will he do it justice? Are they really going to pull all the stops? Will it be as nasty as we hope it's going to be? We know it's R-rated, and the trailer does seem to portray a bit of blood, snot and carnage, which is what you want from a Predator movie. Don't sanitize or dilute this sort of stuff. And the action looks like it's there. As I said before, I love the way he's leaping from tree to tree. I love his actual dynamics, his physicality. And because he's slimmer, he's not a big, squat, muscle-bound, the guy can really move. The guy playing him is an professional basketball player. He's about 14 foot tall. So, it's all to play for. The more I'm seeing of this, the more I'm getting excited. Now we know the dog's name as well. Sorry. Don't kill him off. Please don't kill him off. And there's going to be more, but whether it be like a franchise set in this time period, whether, because you know that the format tends to be, or what could be, the French fur trappers are invading Comanche territory, the Predator's there as well, so there's already a warring faction, a conflict there. But will the Predator take out most of the fur trappers and most of her hunting party? She's got to save her brother and the rest of her tribe back at the village, we know that. So will she have to form a relationship, a bond with maybe the last remaining French fur trapper, and the two of them will go against the Predator? That would be one of those horrible tropes which, it wouldn't surprise me, but I wouldn't like it to be there. I want Air to be the hero with this. And maybe even you've got one of these French fur trappers lying there butchered, but he's just coughing up blood and he's begging, you know, merci, merci. Which would mean thank you, wouldn't it? But he's begging for mercy. And she just, with a spear, just goes, fuck you, you know. My land! You know. And the Pred sees that and thinks, heartless bitch. I'm gonna take you on. I don't know. But this is all part of the fun, isn't it? Conjecture and supposition. What's the film that you want to see? It ain't going to be what you're going to get. That's obvious. But it still could be fantastic. And I think it will be. So folks, there you go. That is the new image and a bit of news. What did we learn from that? That they trained to play the Comanches. And the dog's got a name. And the Predator is a bit more limited as far as armour and technology goes, but that should be a given, shouldn't it, you know? So, anyway, there you go, folks. The land of the Comanche, the primitive SEAL Team 6. Folks, I have been always Shelby Kilt-Man. Please keep it kilted, and I'm going to see you all very soon. In fact, much sooner than just simply